This is the training video on how to set up a construction module budget in Yardi. So, this is my Yardi dashboard. Right now I'm in pay scan. You can see pay scan. So the first step is go to roles and repad CONST construction account. So I'm gonna do the 2026 CapEx budget for Yardi, and I'm gonna take the budget shell here that Summer created. You can see I have Summer's file that she made for Broxton. I'm gonna open this in Excel just so it's easier. So step one, while that file opens, is to be in the construction module. You can see I have the budget detail. And on this budget format, we put the CapEx all the way down in the 15 and 1600 categories. So there's a lot of different categories here. What I'm going to do is, just to make this budget short and sweet, I'm going to summarize some of the major categories. So I'm not going to go into all the details. Well, let's see, it's about 15 items. I'll do it. Okay, so here's my CapEx budget in Excel. Here's my dashboard for the Yardi construction. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to hit add. So that's creating a new job. And I always like to make the job code formulaic. So Broxton 2026 CapEx. Now you're limited to a certain number of characters. This is a critical step. Always make sure you select the correct property. I've made that mistake before and it's not easy to undo. So Broxton, and you may get an error code if you have too many characters. So Brox 2026 CapEx. See, I got an error code. The code is too long. So then I'm going to make it Brox 26 CapEx. See if that works. And that worked. So now my job code is set up. Broxton 26 CapEx. The property is linked. Now the job code is what you're going to enter every time you get a CapEx invoice. You basically have to let Karen or someone at accounting know that it should be capitalized, not expensed. So the job code is the first step in categorizing capital invoices. The second step is the category code. And the category code are all the individual line items underneath a job. That's basically how the Yardi construction module works. You set up a job and then you create the individual line items. So I click add budget, and then here there's a little box next to category. Here's where I can pick and choose the whole universe of category codes. So I'm looking over to the right at the Broxton budget. We have $3,200 in door lock replacements. So you can actually search door, and there's not exactly door and lock replacements, but doors and hardware is pretty close. So you're going to want to pick the closest category to it. So I hit OK. So now my category is loaded, and I literally just highlight that, enter the amount, hit save, and now you'll see the first category code set up within the job. Now, every time you want to add a detail or a category code, you have to hit new. Now, what you can do is you can bulk enter a bunch of these so you can go faster. So the next one is glass and window. So glass and glazing is pretty close. Or if we don't like that one, we could say window, windows. It's fine. That one is 1,200. And then we have flooring. Flooring. That one is 24,000. Then we have HVAC is 63,000. 63,000. You can see you can go pretty fast here, actually. Next is refrigerators. Now, what I might do is we have refrigerators, stoves, dishwashers, washers, and dryers. I might take all four categories, which are appliances. It's 33,200 if I add it up in Excel. And I'm just going to say 33,200. Next category is water heater. Probably could have included that in appliances, but it's a little different. Water heater. Water heater is really plumbing, to be honest. Let's see if we have water heater replacement, garbage disposal, range hoods. Range hoods probably should have been in appliances. Let's see if we have plumbing. There's no plumbing, so I'm gonna put water heater replacements under plumbing. Plumbing. And call that 7,500. Garbage disposal and range hoods probably should have also been under appliances, so I'm just going to bulk that one into 39,080. So we're going to change this to 39,80. 39,080. You can add more rows, actually. So if you click here, more rows, it'll keep going. It'll give you more rows. Ceiling fan replacement, light fixture replacement. Excuse me, let's see what they have. Ceiling fan. You can actually get new codes entered in Yardi. You have to go through pull off. Whoops, fan coil, ceiling fan replacement. I think ceiling fan replacement, light fixture replacement, and electrical are all going to go in the same category, to be honest. So that's 6,000. So what we're just going to say is electrical. Electrical. So call that 6,000. Next we have, let's see, what else do we have? Oh no, we have another 4,500 in electrical, so we're really going to make that 10,500. Paint and we got tub and resurfacing, blinds, window coverings, windows. We already have windows, don't we? We have glass and windows. So we're going to lump, I like simplicity, so glass and window replacement. We had 1,200, and then we had blinds and window coverings 2,400. So we're going to make that one 3,600. It's going to include both categories. Tub and tile resurfacing. It's really not a CapEx item, to be honest, but we're going to lump that into painting because that's really what it is. Paint and drywall, 5,100, 7,100. $7,100. I'm just going through here and I'm just mirroring exactly the Excel budget. Electrical we already added. Bathroom fixture replacement. I'm sure we have something for fixtures. We probably could have put plumbing fixtures. Plumbing fixtures, bathroom fixtures, pretty close. 600. And make supplies, paint and drywall, yeah, 158. Then we have pool and decking. So we'll just make that pool. Pool paver, fence allowance, pool paver. Actually, we're pretty pool and decking, pool paver. 6265. Maybe we'll just make it pool upgrades. Let's make it pool upgrades. It's more general. 6625. Fencing. Fencing. That is 9,000. Roof 8085. Very specific number there. Tessie, she's already still slow tonight anyway. Roof repairs. So that's, what was that, 8085. Rental equipment and exterior doors. Rental. I'm trying to think. Rental equipment. Be like, I guess FF&E would be equipment. Rental equipment. Be like United Rentals. Scissor lift. And we'll make that a miscellaneous. Miscellaneous is 5,000. And exterior doors. Doors and hardware. Make that one 3,000. And then there's one other important thing. River West charges a 5% CapEx management fee. So the category for that is owner construction management fee. And I usually take a calculator, just do rough math. So right now our budget's 187,090 times 0.05. So that'd be about 9,300, 9,354. So I always go a little higher. So let's just say 9,500. And then I hit save. And boom, my 2026 Broxton CapEx budget is loaded into Yardi in the construction module. You could always double check the total budget in Yardi if it matches your budget that you have. We're a little off here, but keep in mind the CapEx management fee that LVL charge was higher. So when you account for that, we're very, very close, if not exact, because we have 208 here, and then here we have 199. So if you sort of just rough math took out another 9 grand from the owner CM fee, it'd be almost exactly to CapEx budget in that we have in Excel. And that is how you do a Yardi construction budget. I'll just show you real quick if I can find an example of an invoice that needs to be coded to CapEx. I'm trying to see if I can find one. Pay scan. So if I go here, workflow in progress. These are all my properties. Just trying to see if I have one. That's a good example. Let's see, 19E. Edison may have one right now. Let's see. This one here, you can always double check when you're in PayScan. See down here, if you look really closely, Karen already coded this to Edison 26 cap, and then she put the category code. But sometimes you may be in a situation where a capital invoice comes through PayScan and it needs to be, it's expensed and it needs to go back to accounting to be recoded. I don't have an example of that, but we can do a separate workshop. Basically, what you do is you send the invoice back to property accountant. So, for example, um, here, when you're in PayScan and you're approving an invoice, there's a next step. That's basically you can either approve or back to property accountant. Let's say this was expensed and you wanted to shoot it back to the property accountant. In the notes, you would put job code XYZ and then category code, and then they would go back to property accountant. And by the time they'd then re-enter the invoice and it would come back to you, and then you double check that it was entered correctly. And once it was capitalized, you'd approve it. This is actually in Yardi how we expense versus capitalize. Is if it goes to the construction module, it's construction in progress. If it, pretty much everything else is an expense unless it's set up in the construction module, or you give the accountant explicit instructions to capitalize, like a one-off something that's not doesn't have a job code. But usually we want to set up a job code for anything to be capitalized. And that's today's lesson. Thank you so much. And hopefully this recorded and hopefully it was useful. Thanks so much.